I'm in the middle of a makeover and I always buy things secondhand, and I try to make everything I do as sustainable as possible. So I wanted to share my best advice so you can do that too. I think the process is a little bit different than if you're just buying everything new and going to a store and just like being able to check off everything off your list. When you buy things secondhand and sustainable, things might take a little longer, but this is what I do. First things first, we need inspiration. This is quite similar, or I guess it's the same as any other makeover or project. You want to gather enough inspiration so you feel that sense of excitement to start your project. This is when I go on Pinterest, I create a mood board for my project. So right now, this is my mood board for the makeover of our guest room. When I start pinning, I just pin away. I pin everything that sparks joy, that looks cool, that has a nice color, that is a nice photo, all of that. I pin everything and I save them to my board. And after that, when I feel like, okay, I have something here, then I go back and I start removing the things that I now can see doesn't fit. Like if I now see that, I don't want to have, a red lamp, I remove the photos with red lamps and so on. This gives me a good feeling of what I want with this room. And it also doesn't restrict me in the creative process, because if you start being too selective right in the beginning, it might stop you from feeling creative and getting that sense of real excitement. When it comes to making over a room, it's really in the details that kind of decides what direction the room is going in. So try to also include photos that give you that vibe. So that can be like, a nice vase or pillows, nice pattern, colors that sparks joy, all of those things that give you the right vibe that you're going for. The second thing I do is to create a little timeline and a little to-do list for myself. I hate cleaning and decluttering if I feel it's like too much and I don't know where to start. So I have to kind of have a to-do list to feel that it's doable at all. Sometimes we procrastinate super weird things like putting up. I had a big suitcase in our room for so long, so I just had the first task was to put it in the storage room instead of having it there where it didn't belong. And then you just check everything off. It can be anything and everything that you have been like procrastinating, but also like nice things. And depending on what mood, if you are like in for a quick reward, it might be super rewarding to do like the fun and easy things at first. Do them in whatever order feels the best for you. Sometimes it's like something that really gives us like a nice and quick reward that we need to get started. Before buying and bringing in things, I always want to declutter and clean my home. This is when I take the time to go through everything that I already own, see what no longer sparks joy, what no longer serves a purpose in my home, and I get rid of that. Sometimes I sell things. This is a good way to give your item a longer life, but also earn some money if you need that for your project. Creating a nice room is just about creating a nice mood. Like think of yourself as the mood manager for your home. You want to create like a good mood. And what that is, that's up to you. One thing that I find super important and that I don't think people think of, because I've never heard anyone mention this when they are making over a room, it's the paint. Traditional paint that you paint your walls with, they are based on plastic, and it's not recommended that you sleep in the same room the same day that you have painted. Sometimes it's like up to 4 weeks and you have to kind of air out the room and so on. I don't think people do this, and I don't think people are aware of how much chemicals there are in paint. So I always go for brands that have natural ingredients because you can sleep in the same room the same night. And also I don't want to be like using paint that isn't biodegradable or breathe in the chemicals and so on. There are some different brands and different ways to paint with natural paint. So just Google and see what you can find in your country. In Denmark and in Sweden, there's one brand called Färgbygge, and in Denmark and in Sweden and in other countries there is a German brand called Auro. Auro didn't want to do a sponsored video with me, but I'm gonna mention them anyway because I'm generous. I have said this when it comes to clothes, but this is super important when it comes to buying things generally. When you are buying things for your home, make sure you have a list, just like a grocery list. You want to have a list where you have everything that you need and that you're on the hunt for. So if it's like big statement lamp, put that big statement lamp. Or if it's like white linen curtains or fabric to sew white linen curtains, write that down. Be specific so you don't kind of drift off when you're out buying, because if you are shopping things secondhand and if you are at a vintage store or like a thrift store, it can be quite overwhelming because usually you can't just go to the curtain section and have like a bunch of different curtains. So usually it's like a bunch of different things and sometimes it's super random, but there in the middle is like the perfect piece for your home. So you kind of have to be very, like you gotta know why you're there and what you're looking for. Otherwise you might either end up getting overwhelmed and just like leave the store without anything, or buy things that you won't need. And also, I don't want to live in a home that is like crowded with stuff. So I try to always get rid of things when I want to bring something new into my home. We recently sold a lamp that we never used, that we were planning to use, but it never happened. And then we also sold our old, smaller dining table. If it's not anything you can sell, you should donate this instead of just throwing it out. Remember, when you are buying things at a thrift store, someone else donated it, so give them good pieces that are fine and beautiful, but maybe don't fit you in your style anymore. So when you are reaching the moment of like, okay, now let's do it, let's start painting and all of that, it's super annoying to find out that you don't have a brush or you don't have the tape you need or whatever. So make sure you have everything you need to get going. This also includes like designing the experience for yourself. I have studied UX design and I try to use this method for myself as if I'm being the user. So if you know that you will run out of energy and need a lot of pauses, plan for those pauses. Put an alarm on your phone to make sure you have a snack or go out and have some fresh air or whatever you need. Also, buy everything that you will need before starting, because it's super annoying to be there, like, I don't know, sanding and notice that you are, I don't know, you ran out of something. So make sure you have everything that you need, just as if you were like prepping the work for someone else, but you're prepping it for yourself. The reason to why I like buying things secondhand, it's because we are in a climate crisis. I know it's always like, people find it negative to talk about, but it's true. We are in a climate crisis. We need to take care of the resources that we have and stop like over consuming. So I always buy things secondhand before even thinking about buying them new. This means that it might take a little longer before I find the things that I actually need for the project. So if you're watching this and you're planning a makeover, start now by going to Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or whatever like platform you use to buy things secondhand, and type in, usually they have like a little notification setting where you can type in like coffee table or a vintage, I don't know, something, if you're looking for that. And include words, like all the words that you can think of to describe that thing. So if you're looking for a wood table, like include words like teak table, old table, retro table, all of that. Or maybe like a 60s table, a mid-century table. Use all the terms that you can think of, because people use weird terms sometimes, and it's always good to kind of capture them all and have a good selection of notifications when you're ready to make your purchase. Also take some time to go thrifting at your local thrift store, go to vintage and antique stores. This is super fun. Sometimes those can be quite expensive, but if money isn't an issue, if you're lucky enough to have money to decorate your home the way you want to, definitely support those smaller stores, because I know they will appreciate it. All right, friends, the sun is getting a little crazy over here, and I'm gonna continue on my own project that I hope that I can start soon. They are currently repiping all the pipes in our whole building, because they are like, I don't know, 50 years old or something. So we can't be at home, and this is why I'm filming from our friend's home. Hello, friend's home. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see more sustainable and cozy stuff. That's what I like. Cozy, sustainable, and lighthearted. That's how I want to be described. See you soon.